Want to know the most impactful thing I ever said to a woman who told me I was too old for her? She ended up chasing me for months afterward. The strange part. I never tried to convince her otherwise. In the next few minutes, you'll discover a straightforward 3-step method I call TAP, which transforms "you're too old" into "I can't stop thinking about you." Not only will I walk you through how to use this method in real-life situations, but I'll also show you why most men ruin their chances when faced with this comment, and how, just last week, a friend of mine used this same strategy to turn the objection into the very reason she chose him over younger men. I've spent years studying hundreds of age gap relationships, and after analyzing how men handle these situations, I uncovered something surprising. The men who succeed aren't necessarily the ones who look the youngest for their age. Instead, they're the ones who understand a hidden psychology I'm about to reveal. What I'm going to share might feel a little uncomfortable at first. But when a woman says, "You're too old for me," you're standing at a crucial crossroads, one that could define every future interaction you have with younger women. Think about it. You've probably spent years building your success, confidence, and lifestyle. Yet, in just 30 seconds, one poorly chosen response could make all of that irrelevant in her eyes. I've seen it happen time and time again. The accomplished CEO stumbles over his words and suddenly becomes that old guy. The confident businessman tries too hard to prove himself, only to lose her respect. The charming professional lets one comment shake his entire frame. Here's the untold truth: when she says, "You're too old," she's actually handing you a unique opportunity, a moment that, if handled correctly, can make her more attracted to you than ever before. The triple death trap. First, let's cover the 3 responses that instantly kill attraction. I call these the triple death trap because even one of these mistakes can destroy her interest in mere seconds. The defensive response. "No, I'm not that old. I work out all the time, and everyone says I look younger." Why it fails: this response comes across as pleading your case, signaling that age is indeed an issue for you. If it's a problem for you, it becomes a problem for her. The logic trap. Actually, studies show that relationships with age gaps are more successful, plus older men are more stable and mature. Why it fails: you can't use logic to spark attraction. If you start listing reasons why she should date you, you've already lost. As I often say, you can't explain your way into her heart. The confidence killer. "Yeah, maybe I am a bit too old for you." Why it fails: the moment you agree with her frame or show uncertainty, you reinforce every negative stereotype she might have about older men. Now, here's the game changer. What if I told you that this very objection, the "you're too old" comment, could become the exact reason she's drawn to you? Here's something fascinating I've noticed after working with thousands of men: the same woman who tells one man he's too old will often end up dating another man who's even older. Let me repeat that. The same woman. The difference? It's not about looks or money. It's about understanding what she's really saying in that moment. What she's really asking. When a woman says, "You're too old," she isn't making a firm statement. She's subconsciously asking 3 critical questions. Are you insecure about your age? She's less concerned about the number itself and more about whether you're concerned about it. Can you handle social pressure? She's thinking ahead, imagining what it'll feel like introducing you to her friends, family, or social circle. Are you genuinely confident in who you are? This is the ultimate test. Most men fail here, but it's also where the opportunity lies. Enter the TAP method. Now that you understand what's happening in her mind, let me introduce you to the TAP method, a 3-step approach designed to turn the "you're too old" comment into an irresistible point of attraction. What's so powerful about this method is how it flips the script entirely. In fact, I've seen it work so effectively that sometimes I find myself hoping women bring up the age topic. Transform the test. When she says, "You're too old for me," respond in an unexpected way. Instead of defending or explaining yourself, amplify it with a playful smirk. You're absolutely right, I'm ancient. In fact, I just finished writing my memoirs from the Renaissance. Notice what's going on here. You're not just agreeing with her, you're exaggerating to the point of humor. This serves three key purposes. It demonstrates complete confidence in who you are. It shows that you can't be easily manipulated emotionally. It shifts the dynamic from serious to playful, amplifying the attraction. This is where most guys stop, but we're just getting started. Right after your playful response, you'll make a smooth transition to this. But you know what's interesting? I've noticed that you're quite mature for your age. The way you handled that situation earlier, most women in their 30s wouldn't have had that kind of insight. Do you see what just happened? You've completely turned the tables by offering her a genuine, specific compliment and creating intrigue about what you observed about her. You've now positioned yourself as someone who can see things others might miss, shifting the power dynamic. Now, here's the real masterstroke. With one perfectly timed statement, you're going to shift the entire phrase. Try saying, "Actually, I should probably be more concerned about whether you're mature enough for me." Then give her a playful smile and ask, "What's the most sophisticated thing you've done this month?" This final move puts you in the position of the selector, creating positive tension and giving her the chance to prove herself to you. But there's one last crucial element that most men miss completely, and it's what separates those who get one date from those who build lasting, genuine attraction. Let me bring up James from earlier to show you exactly how he used this method last week. Let's break it down step by step, including voice tonality and body language. Voice tonality: start with a slightly amused tone, transition into warm curiosity, and end with a playful challenge. Body language: keep a relaxed posture, slightly tilt your head during playful moments, maintain strong eye contact during the power shift, and subtly smile throughout. Timing secrets: your first response should be immediate and light-hearted. In the second phase, slow down and create anticipation. The power shift should be delivered with purposeful timing. Here's what happened next with James. He applied the tap method exactly as I showed him. But instead of just getting a positive response, something unexpected happened. The woman who had just told him he was too old for her started asking him questions about his life experiences. 2 weeks later, she told her friends, it's like his age is one of the most attractive things about him now. Here's the twist: she was actually older than the last woman he dated. The issue wasn't the age gap at all, it never is. Now let me show you something even more powerful: how to prevent this objection before it ever comes up. I call this pre-framing your age, and it works like psychological inoculation. By pre-framing your age, you can make it a non-issue. Here are 3 powerful pre-frames that turn age into an asset rather than a problem. The experience frame: when sharing a story, casually mention something like, "That's one of the things I love about being at this stage in life." You get to understand things that most people don't appreciate until much later. This frames your age as an advantage without being defensive about it. The social proof setup: instead of hiding past relationships, subtly drop a line like, "My ex was actually about your age. It's funny, she always said the best thing about our relationship was." This shows you're comfortable with age gaps and removes the taboo factor. The value flip: this one's my favorite. When discussing life experiences, say something like, "You know what's fascinating about meeting people from different generations? You get to combine fresh perspectives with real-world wisdom, which is actually rare to find." The key with these pre-frames is to introduce them naturally into conversation before age ever becomes an issue. It's like vaccinating yourself against the objection. Here's why this pre-framing strategy is so powerful. When a woman meets an older man, she's mentally battling 2 competing narratives. The social programming that says age gaps are weird. The natural attraction to confidence, experience, and masculinity. By pre-framing her perception, you can help her focus on the second narrative, the one that works in your favor. Let me show you exactly how to implement this in the real world. Scenario 1, First meeting. Drop the experience frame within the first 10 minutes. Watch her reaction. If it's positive, follow it up with the value flip. Scenario 2, Early dating phase. Use the social proof setup naturally, then transition into deeper conversations. This creates positive associations with the age gap. But here's the most powerful truth I've learned after years of studying age gap relationships: your age is either going to be your greatest insecurity or your greatest asset. There's no middle ground. The men who succeed with younger women aren't the ones who try to look the youngest. They're the ones who embrace their age as part of their masculine appeal. Think about it, what's more attractive? A man who's trying to hide who he is, or a man who's fully embraced his journey and the wisdom it's brought him? Remember how we started this video? That woman who told me I was too old for her. Months later, she told me it was exactly how I handled that moment, with absolute confidence and playfulness, that made her realize she had never met a man so comfortable in his own skin. The age gap that was once her biggest concern became one of the things she found most attractive about our connection. Now, it's your turn. Here's what I want you to do: drop a comment below with your age, the biggest challenge you're facing with younger women, and which of these techniques you're going to try first.